A few weeks ago, I was privileged to get a glimpse of a different time in Montana as remaining members of Missoula County's Extension Homemakers Club sat down to reflect on a time when they learned and laughed together in an era before food processors and $1,000 refrigerators.
We didn't have conveniences, so we had to find ways to wash clothes. We had to find ways to iron properly and get them done in a short time instead of spending all day.
Most of us, when I joined, were fairly young homemakers, just struggling along, trying to figure out what was this to do and what do I do with this kid that won't go to bed at night.
And for members living in scattered Montana towns where phones were a luxury and vacations unheard of, the Extension Homemakers meetings were a rare chance to get out.
Our husbands were usually home on the night we met, and they took care of the kids, and we did a lot of learning, and we had fun too. And then every once in a while we'd have a party for our husbands.
We just swap information and fun. We had a lot of little skits that went on, and
the scrapbooks are full of those memories and the legislative and social accomplishments, too. Once a year, delegates would go to Bozeman for Women's Week, usually during the college rodeo.
As our numbers dwindled, we shared the dorm with the cowboys, and they were on the third floor, and we were on the floor below.
That must have been a wild week.
It was a wild week. Somebody rang the fire alarm, and of course we all were all poured out of the building out into down into the foyer, and looked up, and here was one of our little ladies up on the third floor waving to us. She didn't bother to come down.
17 members and 2 guests attended the Potomac Homemakers meeting and heard a lesson about preparation of wild game.
Yet through all the years, the advice taught in an earlier time rings true, as do the lingering friendships across the decades.
To be sure you make priority of what was the most important thing to spend your money on. I mean, because some young people have a hard time with that.
my son found a book where I was keeping track of my activities, and he says, "Mom, you were just busy all the time." He says I didn't give them, the children, enough time because I was so busy with clubs.
But that way you're a mom to a lot of people, right?
I hope so.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.